What's up everyone, Dragon back again with another edition of the Kaiju Commentary. Today we are watching Godzilla's foray to animation with Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters. Now when you see the Polygon logo appear on your screen, that is your cue to start listening to us. So we're going to kick things off in 3, 2, 1. Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to another edition of the Kaiju Commentary. Today we are watching Godzilla, Planet of the Monsters.
It's a planet
Of
full of monsters.
Well, so not really. It's mostly
really.
him, his, latchkey kid, and like some flying things, which I guess constitutes Planet of the Monsters.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So this is obviously the first animated Godzilla film. It is done by Polygon, who did stuff like Blame and Knights of Sidonia. And this is also
are they doing the new Star Wars animated show?
Polygon?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I want to know because
The style's pretty similar. I saw
Yeah.
the trailer the other day.
yeah. Oh,
But it
excuse
also,
me.
I don't know if you've seen that other Netflix show, the Dragon Prince or whatever, from the depth chart. It's kind of similar.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I think a lot of people are starting to do this.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even though I still don't think a lot of studios who are doing this have really cracked it yet. I mean, I don't know. One of my most things I've said with 3D animation that it needs to kind of move more like live action because it's animation in a three-dimensional space, whereas 2D, you use more keyframe animation because it's technically flat. This is probably the most fluid thing Polygon has done. Well, the second film is, I would say, but they still have a lot of the kind of keyframe movement. If you guys are wondering what the hell keyframe is, if you look at something like Frozen or the Overwatch, character shorts, and look how the movement is in that 3D animation, and then you watch something like this, and you can kind of see one is very fluid and one has a bit more of that rigidity.
It's jerky.
I'm thinking the goal behind this is to look kind of like 2D animation, but they can, I don't know, They can do this faster.
Yeah.
I think that's
More
kind of what it
affordable.
comes down to. It's because I know initially they wanted this to be a TV series, like an anime series on television, and then towards the end, Toho decided they wanted to do this as film. So I don't know if prior to that they wanted to make this 2D, and then when they decided to go to film, they would decide to switch over to 3D. I'm not sure, but yeah, you can do this stuff a lot faster in a computer, obviously.
These were, I mean, same people did Blame, right?
Yeah.
Blam.
Blah,
Blam. Blame.
By the way, this is really, really sad. So long story short, humans have been traveling through space because they had to leave Earth because Godzilla basically just, was just conquering the world. Mm-hmm. And now they're running out of resources, so they're sending the older people to this planet to see if they can colonize it. But realistically, everyone knows that this planet is, a death trap, and they're probably going to die. So it's kind of unofficially them just sacrificing themselves so they don't use up any more resources
Or being
than necessary.
ordered to sacrifice themselves.
Kind of, yeah. And this is kind of the issue with his character. He realizes that, we're drifting in space. For what? We're dying out here. We left Earth so we wouldn't die, whereas, we're just dying a slower death out here. So his mindset, he wants to go back to Earth. And he would rather risk a confrontation with Godzilla and maybe win, and if not, die a lot faster than they would otherwise here. And so this is kind of this generational divide here where the older people who are kind of running the show are saying, no, we made the decision to leave, so we need to leave. And the younger people are getting restless, screw this, better to die in a blaze of glory than, just rot in space. So I like the premise of this movie.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I'm sure they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh.
What?
Oh, no. Here's my question right here. Maybe this is just me nitpicking. Is that ship already in that planet's atmosphere? Because otherwise you wouldn't be seeing the fire.
I know.
I'm just going to assume that they're already in the atmosphere.
Planet of the Monsters!
Planet of the Monsters.
Monsters!
And by the way, I think it's interesting that even in Japan, they rendered Godzilla's name in English.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, the Planet of the Monsters part is still in Japanese, but yeah, his name is always shown in English.
That's interesting.
Now, okay, we got Kamacuras, we got Dogora. Yep, I'm gonna name all people.
We know.
We got a building.
Some body things.
Yep, some light here. Rodan.
Oh yeah.
Orga. And then Godzilla. But yeah, I kind of wanted to see.
Tiny.
I kind of wanted to see this movie.
Oh, I know, right?
Well, it's basically Final Wars if you think about it.
I'm sure they'll make the prequel.
Because that's basically what they described it. All these kaiju showed up, and then Godzilla came and killed them all. So I'm like, oh yeah, so that's Final Wars. So we actually know how Final Wars ends now. So yeah, this film was kind of touting that it has the largest Godzilla, which is true. He's over 300 meters. I think he's like about 316 meters in this movie. But at the time of these attacks that you see here, Godzilla is only about 50 meters, which is the size of the original 54 Godzilla. So it implies that during his time on Earth, he's just grown and grown and grown.
All the aliens.
Well, a lot of the aliens you see in this film, that, you know, besides looking just like human beings, are all based off like the various alien races you've seen throughout the old Godzilla films.
Yeah.
We promise.
Our first little peek at Mechagodzilla, who will kind of sort of play a role in the second movie. I mean, if it was just a matter of pushing a button.
Hit the easy button.
Now, you were saying that you thought the main character here was one of the most angsty anime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would be inclined to agree.
It's an angsty little bitch. He's just angry all the time.
Sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not just being angry; it's being kind of like bratty about it too, though.
Yeah.
Like.
I've seen that a lot though in more recent anime where I'm just kind of like, Jesus Christ, like, yeah, you and everybody else is having a bad day. Ooh.
Oh.
It is interesting that Godzilla's atomic breath isn't like atomic; it's like a weird force field that he like concentrates in front of him and like.
I love the atomic breath in this.
I know it's strange how they do it though.
It's so satisfying.
Old man Goji.
Also, yeah, the backstory of this Godzilla, which didn't really go in the movie, but this is all the stuff they released, like, you know, upon the release of the film, where Godzilla essentially kind of just grew from the world. Like, the planet, like, made him, essentially. Almost like a... I don't know, kind of just in a way of, like, cleansing the world of just both humans and monsters. Like, I like how he's not one of the monsters. He is... As far as he's concerned, all the other kaiju were no different than us.
Yeah.
You know, they were just things to be eradicated. So Godzilla, in a weird way, in this film, is almost like a cleansing force for the planet. Like, everyone's just mopey as shit.
Can't blame him.
I know, but I'm just kind of like, damn. Looks better than the skull lunches I got.
A carton of water? Really?
I would have taken a carton of water over some of the frickin' horse manure they plop down in that. Ooh, hey.
Nice.
Okay, hear me out. You're short on resources. Do you eat the people?
No.
I Come on.
Short on resources, you're not out of resources.
Yeah, but you don't have to be.
It last longer.
But maybe you wouldn't be as short on resources.
Yeah, it'll last longer if we just eat each other, guys.
Not like
because then we don't even have to eat the food.
But
I'm just saying. I'm not saying draw straws here, but I'm just saying, like, okay, if you just like, hey, Kevin didn't report for work today. Hey, Kevin, you in there? You open the door and Kevin's there where, like, his brain turned to marinara sauce on the wall. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying no.
He's still fresh.
So I'm not that hungry.
I guess we would make it and just not tell you.
What I'm telling you is
in the
that
back of the freezer.
If we're around a spaceship floating in space, we're going to eat you.
And you feed me spaghetti, then I know not to eat it.
Try the Alfredo, Chris. I'm sure it'll make it. I'm sure it's delicious.
No, it's not.
See, they have like kind of elfy ears.
Longer ears.
Yeah, there's longer. They're like old school Ryoko ears, where they were kind of squared out.
Yeah. Classic science fiction trope of how to make someone an alien. You just make their ears look weird.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't put your hand on my shoulder.
I also like, too, how with these aliens, they kind of brought their own religion, and because the humans are kind of like a broken people,
Yeah.
A lot of them have embraced their religion, because the way they look at it, the gods they would have worshipped on Earth essentially failed them, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, might as well, sign up with somebody else's. So that's kind of an interesting idea.
They failed these aliens, too.
Yeah.
They showed up, and now they're on your ship.
Now they're just hitchhiking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's kind of a popular trope now in anime. They'll have a main lead character who's like stoically angry. Like it's one thing to be angry, but like there's no
range.
Yeah, well, there's no kind of flair to it. There's no kind of like fun to it. Where you have a character who's like sometimes like they're angry, but it almost makes them cool or fun. It's
okay. So I would say like Bakugo from My Hero Academia. His character is always angry, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, well, he's fun.
Like he's
or Vegeta from like Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
angry, but not in the annoying way.
Yeah,
It's really the only way to put it.
It's part of their charm.
Well, this is just too serious.
Yeah, this is literally I just held my dying child in my arms, angry, serious. Where it's like, okay,
and he's been holding on to that anger since he was like 6, and he's been there ever since.
I know, and I get what happened to him is tragic. I'm not saying that, but I mean, as bad as that would be,
exist that way, it would be awful.
I mean, if he was like 30 or like 20, late 20, that happened when he was like 16. You were kind of an adult when it happens. But when you're a kid, you can bounce back from stuff as a child much more than you can as an adult because you're still formulating a lot of like who you are. I'm not saying it doesn't affect you. I'm not saying that at all, but I think if he saw that happen when he was 6, and he's
even Batman cracks a smile every once in a while.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like
he's also disgustingly rich, so that sure helps.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's a young kid having his parents die in front of his eyes, like bleeding out in his like. And then right then and there, taking a vow to fight crime for the rest of his life, and he's still. Like every once in a while. He was
still kind of a playboy.
Still
got his.
Right.
So what we're saying is that the lead in this film should have been Batman. No question of why Batman's there. It's like, or why he was a kid. When they say, yep, that's how Batman happened. He saw his parents get destroyed by Godzilla, and they got in a spaceship, and now I'm Batman.
Yeah.
Space Batman.
I'd watch that movie.
I'd watch the shit out of that movie.
That'd be awesome.
Space Batman.
He just pays Godzilla off. So
Freeze. Dirtbag.
He comes riding back down on Space Godzilla.
Yes.
And Batman, of course, forever has to have the Christian Bale voice.
Yes.
That just will never go away.
Where is she?
Swear to me.
Rachel.
Godzilla's like, the fuck are you talking about?
It's real, bitch.
Ridiculous.
Also, I like how they've been in space for about a decade or so, but like the active going back through. Well, like time has is different, so it's been like centuries on Earth in terms of time has passed. So that's kind of because at first I was thinking like, oh, how is there a planet of the monsters? Like how has the planet changed so much? Then when I read that, like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
I don't know. I just think about how like bad these aliens are at space travel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they got all the way to Earth, but when it comes to like leaving Earth, do they ever explain that? I'm just forgetting, like why they can't go to the aliens' home planet.
It's because they touch upon it just briefly in this movie, but they keep it kind of mum. But in the second film, they basically will explain that their planet was destroyed by a monster even worse than Godzilla. And they refuse to say the name out loud because now it has become taboo. But he whispered in the character's ear, but it's already been kind of revealed that in the third one, it's King Ghidorah. But they're basically telling him, yeah, you think Godzilla is bad, just consider yourself thankful because everything he's done to your world, just know there's something even worse than him lurking in space.
Voice.
And it's also going to be cool that it's going back to the whole idea of Ghidorah being an alien, because I don't think he's been an alien since the show era.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, there was a Kaiser Ghidorah in Final Wars, I guess, but yeah, that's the implication that, their planet was destroyed, so they were kind of roaming in space, and then they came upon Earth and saw something similar happening to
Earth. Really talking about their planet right now.
So they were like saying, like, yeah, okay, we'll help you guys because we've been here before. We know what you guys are going through. So what do you guys think of Godzilla's like the look in this film?
Old man Goji.
Old man Goji.
He looks like an old man, but I like
the face, yeah. Well, it's funny. He's got like the silhouette of what a lot of people have said like the legendary Godzilla, but like the texturing of in addition to being just the large because of general size, I know bulk wise he's the biggest too. And I was reading the director of this film, who I will look up now because as always I can't remember names. He said he based Godzilla's kind of appearance off like a sumo wrestler, so very broad and very kind of squat in appearance. Which, once I read that and I was looking at it, I was like, you could really see that.
One of the things I wish they did, like, I like this Godzilla design, but I know it would be, a crazy model to have, but I wish he had, like all vines and shit all over him, like, besides,
I remember
texture. I think I said it, way back when we did the
Cataclysm episode, This film was directed by Kobun Shizuno, and
Get it out.
What's the second one? I'm sorry.
I can't see things. Kobun Shizuno and Hiroyuki Sashita.
Yeah. They co-directed this film. So again, it is produced by Toho, meaning Toho bankrolled it. But beyond that, it was Polygon who made the film, came up with the story. I mean, obviously Toho has to approve everything, but
I like the look of this Godzilla.
Again, it's definitely distinctive.
Big and mean and
just monstrous.
And again, it's funny. Again, I keep saying he's old man Godzilla, but it's because he's got like almost not. I don't want to say creepy, but his eyes just look like they know so much, man.
He's
got,
ancient.
Like, I know,
they're blue too. That
eyes. Where it's kind of like it's cool, but it's kind of like, oh man,
it's unsettling almost.
Yeah.
Also, his teeth. He doesn't really have teeth; they're just kind of extension.
Yeah.
And I guess they read that he said he was kind of very much influenced a little bit by like Princess Mononoke and how the animals there were all like the god animals. They were like products of nature. And here he wanted to make Godzilla literally feel like the earth having just grown him. So it kind of has the silhouette of like an animal. But if you look at it, it almost looks plant-like. It's almost like, again, like literally grown from the world. So, again, it's definitely an interesting take.
Ooh, wonder if we can see the ocean.
Maybe, what's the main guy's name? Hero, I think. No, I was just thinking Hiro because I just said that guy's name is Hiroyuki.
I think Haru.
Haru, yeah, I knew it was something like that. Maybe he's so sad and angsty because he's worn the same spacesuit for 20 years. Maybe.
Yep, they're all in the same boat. He doesn't get to be special snowflake, man. Like, come on. Like, dude, we're all in the shit together. Like, chill out. Like, oh, I saw my parents die. Yeah, we all saw our parents die. Like, shit sucks. Like, you know. Again, I don't. I understand his motivation for being that way, but then you look around at everyone else. They're like, yeah, everyone's in the same boat. Like, no one's different than you, and people have probably seen worse things than you. They're just dealing with it better. So that's my issue when I have characters that are. Again, because he's the primary protagonist, that's kind of the issue. It's like if he was like one of the characters alongside the main person, like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But because he is, the main dude, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, dude, but like you and everybody else. So just,
there's a lot of people, who Godzilla killed.
I mean, the fact that all the survivors could fit on this one spaceship, obviously a lot of people didn't make it. So. Your motivation is sound, but it's just again the girl in the movie, Yuko. I really like her character, and I think she's actually I think she would have made a better lead.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because she balances him out. She's usually the one getting him to calm down. I'm kind of like, I think that would have made for an interesting character. A dynamic for her character is that in addition to having to kind of be like the leader of this movement, she's dealing with like, people around her who aren't coping as well, so she kind of has to be like their crutch on top of having to kind of carry her own emotional baggage. But because it's just him, it's like, okay, he's allowed to feel that way and be that way because everybody around him is supporting him, so he can be that way. Meanwhile, because of that, they can't really be that way because they're too busy kind of babysitting his angst, so to speak. So I don't know, like stuff like that. Still, it's like I get it, dude.
Our Earth that was taken from us.
Like, yeah, but it's like, dude, you and everybody else feels that way. Like, calm down. You're like what, 19? Like, for better or for worse, you spent more of your life in space than you did on Earth. Whereas you have guys who are like running the show. They're like in their 60s, and they had an entire life and childhood and memories and relationships. They actually lived a life on Earth before it was taken away from them.
Yeah.
So they technically lost more. They lost their lives as they knew it.
Right. I mean, we've talked about this before. Because, I mean, his whole thing is, like, he wants revenge against Godzilla. And it's like, Godzilla's, big animal.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Somebody, we've talked about, like, we likened it to, like, if,
like the guy
that was killed by a bear.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we went to like, Space Godzilla, the bullet guy with, like, his special little gun.
Like, whose response is going to be, hunting down that bear for revenge?
A crazy person.
If the bear happens to be in a populated area, yeah, they're gonna like take care of that bear. They're gonna get, the bear will probably be killed or something, or like if not relocated. But like, a bear's a bear.
Yeah, it's gonna do what a bear does. Well, it's like the kid.
It's not. It doesn't mean it's not sad or like, but it's not. It's not the same, like...
It's not personal.
It doesn't... Yeah, it's not personal. It doesn't motivate... I don't know. It just doesn't track to motivate this sort of lifelong goal of revenge. I think it's... but I don't know. Well, if they attributed some sort of... But it would be weird to do that to Godzilla. Like, and sort of like Godzilla had a personal reason for killing his parents.
Yes, I'm saying. Like, that's not
would
really...
would be very strange. Like,
well, again, it's like Bullet Guy from Space Godzilla. He was one of the main characters, but he wasn't the main guy. We were all meant to look at him like, dude, you're crazy for... Because, again, he was trying to get revenge for his brothers dying in Godzilla vs. Biollante. But even we were... The way he was being portrayed was like, yeah, dude, like, we get it, you're sad and you're angry, but Godzilla killed a lot of people. And your brother did so. He died on the front line, purposely firing a rocket launcher at Godzilla. So, on top of that, you can't even say that, oh, he didn't ask for this. Oh, there we go. So, any hope of, maybe he's gone is, no, he's out there. But yeah, but now that this is our main character, the guy who's got the insane revenge, quest, it's like, Maybe it was thunder.
No one would ever forget that roar.
I mean, realistically, what were you guys expecting?
I mean, if only it had just left.
Yeah.
Just flown away. That'd be fine. It follows them.
They turn around, he's always behind them. Hey guys, shut.
Chasing their ship.
I like the way their ship looks. I like how the ship looks. It's futuristic, but
Practical.
Yeah, it looks like something that we would realistically build within the next, 50 years or something.
It's not over designed.
It's not super sleek, and then again, I get the sense they probably scrapped a lot of the stuff together pretty quick. Like they were like when they realized that they couldn't beat the
and they
monster.
had help from aliens.
Yeah. Who, think about them because they were already adrift in space. They themselves are probably low on resources themselves, so the aliens probably essentially had to help them build all this stuff utilizing what they had on Earth.
Man, what poor luck for those aliens to flee their destroyed planet and then the habitable planet.
Yeah. And
the hospitable planet they come across is being attacked by Godzilla.
It's like, god damn.
Should have kept moving, guys.
And they're right back to drifting through space.
I know, it's like shit.
And they couldn't even brainwash the humans with their religion.
I mean, not for lack of effort, though. They gave it the old college try.
They did. They're like, wait, what? You guys already have Scientology here? You all think it's bullshit?
Damn it.
What? God damn you, Tom Cruise.
So it's kind of like shit in here a little bit where they're kind of describing Godzilla as like a unique organism. I mean, different than the way Shin was, but again, that's one of the things I've noticed too with like these newer Godzilla films, that are being produced by Toho, is that they're really playing around with the concept of what Godzilla is.
It's like, why does it matter who fucking wrote it?
Because it's the guy in prison.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, if it's useful information, does it really matter?
Well, I think they want to make sure that the source is credible. But on the flip side, it's like, well, you guys don't have a lot of options at this moment. So it's kind of like...
All shall be according to God's will.
Don't you bring God into this?
Kind of a cool view, though. Although it kind of scared the shit out of me, too.
I know.
It's like when you're just in space, it's like, alright, but when you have like a planet below to give you like a sense of like perspective, like, oh shit.
No, I think I don't know. I don't think it'd all terrify me.
Yeah, so I guess that in this continuity, they've kind of replaced kind of nuclear energy with like that kind of electromagnetism.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a big deal, though, that they've essentially kind of removed the nuclear allegory entirely from Godzilla, which is something that doesn't really get talked about a lot about this movie. That's really a first.
Yeah.
Where Godzilla has no ties to like radiation at all. Like he's using a completely different energy source. I mean,
he's just a freak of nature.
I mean, I'm assuming he's not. I don't think there was ever anything that I read that he's still nuclear in some capacity. I think it's this new power source that he's running off of.
But I did think it was cool how they explain his invulnerability.
Even though I remember reading a book back in like a novel back in the mid-90s where it was like it was an American novel, but they had gotten the rights from Toho to do like a series of like just Godzilla novels. and they talked that saying that Godzilla, it's not that he's mostly, his skin is mostly impervious to attack, but the few times that we do like penetrate the skin, they said he regenerates so fast that by the time the blast clears, his skin's already healed over. So literally with like the blink of an eye, his skin heals, and that's assuming you even damage it. So I like how they're essentially kind of saying the same thing. Like even if you manage to damage him, he heals so immediately that it's like you did it basically.
So are these guys supposed to be the only people from Earth that survived, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. If they had 4,000 people, is that even enough, like, without science to repopulate?
Well, they're initially trying to go to this planet. I'm sure they probably would have had, like, test tube babies and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure they had, like, embryos, probably, like, frozen. But they can't start, growing them on the ship because there's not enough. They barely have resources for themselves. Hence the cannibalism. Or is that just wishful thinking on my part? No, jeez. But yeah, no. The goal was to get to this planet they thought was going to be hospitable, but then they got there and they realized that the atmosphere was toxic to them. So they, so I'm sure that's what it was. They just had enough people to kind of get on the ship, but the bulk of humanity was going to essentially be grown on this new world.
So
when they had
this is some Legacy of Hero shit, essentially.
Yeah.
Figured you'd appreciate.
I would appreciate. For any of you guys who haven't read that book, read it. Legacy of Hero. It's a damn good book. But that's the kind of thing where enough people to kind of get the colony up and running, and then they were going to just start like unfreezing all these embryos they had like in stasis, basically, and start actually building up a large breeding population. Because with this many people, you're not going to be able to, you might get a few generations out of it before, it starts looking like a family reunion.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's just,
true.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, we had to start somewhere.
When you see people with, like, arms growing out of their foreheads, that's when you know, like, all right, maybe we need to try that whole vow celibacy thing.
Bail status.
Oh yeah. Demanda.
Like how their helmets just do that.
I know. I do like the music in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like an older Toho Godzilla film,
Yeah.
which is strange. You hear that kind of classic fanfare music, but like the visuals are so modern and like super sci-fi-ish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Huh? Huh?
Huh? So yeah, it took me a minute to realize that. Okay, so there's two kinds of aliens here. There's the really tall, elfish-looking ones.
Yeah.
But when you see those other guys who kind of have like the sloping brow and like the dark tan skin,
Yeah, I was gonna say
they're also an alien race.
No, they are, but like I was gonna wait till I went back on one of them. But like they've got like I don't know if they're supposed to be spikes or like weird hair on their faces also, like foreheads and near their cheekbones.
They kind of have a bit of a Klingon kind of thing going on. But that was the other thing people too were saying, like the aliens it's hard to tell like who's the aliens sometimes, because then you have some of the humans here who are tall and blonde. And I'm like, okay, are they an alien or are they a human? It's like,
so why couldn't the tall ones be the brutish ones, huh? Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Troposphere.
So are there two different species of aliens?
yeah. So when you see that kind of those
Where do the other aliens
I'm
come
not being racist, folks, so I'm gonna preface this before I say it, but when you see the guys with like the dark brown skin,
If anything, Japan was being
I don't know,
Whoa. We don't throw those accusations either.
Wow.
Hey,
but yeah,
all I'm saying
they're also kind of they're built more heavy. They're kind of broad shouldered, and the other ones are kind of very tall.
The beefy aliens.
Yeah.
And the other ones are the slender ones.
Yeah, the ones that look more elvish. Mm. Hey, they have the whole Skull Island thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some science.
Yeah. We're gonna see if the Earth is hollow.
So here's the thing that I think is funny. So they went back to Earth, but like, why would you go to the same exact spot where Godzilla definitely was before? Why wouldn't you go to like the other side of the Earth?
Well, I think they're trying to kill Godzilla. Because that's the thing too. You look at
they already know he's there, and they're trying to do reconnaissance.
Like, look at the Earth too. Like, the entire planet has essentially been terraformed. To fit Godzilla now. Like, Godzilla is literally like god of the world now because he's literally changed the physical environment. So it's not even the Earth they've remembered. It's an alien world.
Just that guy, not that guy.
No, yeah. Well, I was gonna say too. I actually do like how this film actually has amongst the humans has like some ethnic diversity.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually always kind of cool because again, it's not just it's just Japanese people who made it.
Is it spikes or is it hair?
I can't. Yeah, but that guy's an alien.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of supposed to be like Vulcans and Klingons. The Vulcans are like these very kind of lean and tall, and very kind of stoic, and the Klingons were kind of broader, stronger, a little bit more gruff. Yeah, that guy's one of them.
Mm. I thought they were from the same.
I'm not sure. I think
they're not both the same
race. No.
So where did the different aliens come from?
I'm not sure. Like, again, none of this stuff is really explained in the movie. It's all like in the kind of companion literature that was released, and
which kind of makes sense if it was gonna be a TV show, but
and that's what I'm wondering because I'm kind of like I kind of hate when I feel like there's like required reading when I have to watch. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't mind expanded universe stuff where if you really like what you're watching, you want to know, okay, here's some extra stuff, but if it's kind of essential need to know info, I think it should be included in the actual like film. But I think it's like what you were saying.
I remember that was one of the problems I had with this movie when we first watched it. Is like I just felt like I was missing a lot of I didn't get a lot because I feel like they didn't explain a lot of it.
And I'm wondering too, back when it was originally going to be a series, if a lot of the stuff we saw in the prologue, where the monsters kind of attacking,
we're going to see that.
I wonder if that might have been like an episode or two in the beginning. Then Godzilla shows up, and then people have to leave Earth, and but because they have to kind of condense all this stuff down, we get like a flash animation looking prologue, and then it's kind of like and they release a bunch because there are pages and pages of like backstory and these races, the organization, who and when all the monsters were, when they showed up, how they showed up, like everything. And I was kind of thinking, oh, is this going to be the movie? Wow, this is cool. And it's like, no, they released that because so you would essentially know what's going on. And admittedly, the reason why I knew what was going on when I started watching the movie is because I read all that stuff. So I don't know. I think maybe you might be right in the sense that it was because it was meant to be a longer format in terms of more was meant to be maybe seen on screen before they kind of had to like chop it down for like a film, which
Understood.
Yes, she's my favorite character.
Keep an eye on him.
She's my favorite too.
And she's kind of feisty too. I don't know. She's stoic and strong, but she's not like an angry mannequin.
She's not a damsel.
Yeah, no, she kicks ass a lot. In this one, and in the second, especially in the second film too. Like she like.
Trees, was it?
They look different though. Oh yeah, they do.
Also, like, I guess it's one of those things where you have to figure out how big these trees are when you see them next to Godzilla. Because that was one of the things, too, like when you... Oh, shit, yeah. Because, again, the Godzilla is supposed to be, like, the big... again, we're assuming you've watched this movie already, so spoilers, but the real Godzilla doesn't show up till... Oh, here we go. the real Godzilla doesn't show up till the end of the movie. Technically, the one we see throughout the movie is kind of like his weird clone offspring. So I was kind of like, okay, well, but without having buildings around, which is normally how we're used to seeing Godzilla for like a sense of like scale and size, it was kind of hard to get a sense of always how big he was, and you just have to kind of keep reminding yourself too that these trees are huge, so they're essentially kind of like the size of buildings.
You get a sense at the end when you see him.
Yeah, when you see that one,
He's
What? That one?
because you're comparing him to the one that they were fighting the entire movie.
yeah,
The entire time.
and then you see how much bigger the other one is, basically to the tree line. You're like, oh shit.
Well, it's just a mountain that stands up.
Yeah, literally. Literally, that's what happens. Like,
Yeah.
the whole time they're having this big battle with the other one, there's a mountain in the background, and you just think it's part of the topography, and then the topography stands up. You're like, oh, well. I mean, we'll get to that, but yeah, that when I saw that, I was like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because I kept watching this movie thinking, I know he's supposed to be the biggest,
Perspective
but he
stuff.
doesn't look that big. Like, did they script? And there's a few shots like they fucked up the perspective bad because there's no way that's 300 meters. And then,
And then.
because that was my biggest complaint in this whole movie, I was like, God, they fucked up the perspective. Like,
Yeah.
they look that character in the shot with him. They ruined it. He's not that big. And then I realized what happened. I was like, oh, good on you.
It was the best part of the movie for sure.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah. I am looking forward to this part when we get to it. Ooh. Wolverine.
This is Professor. Please come.
That's cool. The city all overgrown.
Fucking uncuff him, Jesus.
I know. I just
Like,
want him
what
to
is he gonna do on Earth?
He's gonna kill everyone.
and eat them.
People used to live here?
It's kind of a cool way of describing it. It's almost like the building's almost some fossils. Like the material is gone, but like the fungus retains the shape. That's really kind of creepy when you think about it. It's almost like the city is like a ghost of itself now.
Yeah.
I mean, not really. When you have trees that can cut through metal, I'm kind of like, that's kind of the thing. It's not really habitable for them anymore.
Yeah.
No, they got this.
It's not a whole lot to take back at this point.
I would love to have one of them trees.
One of them trees.
One of them trees, was it?
See, again, are those, I guess there's spikes. I
It's
don't
like
know.
little whisker spikes.
I know. Are they whiskers?
I don't know.
Whiskers.
I don't know.
Hey, whiskers.
I'm not an alienologist.
Oh, this is crazy.
That guy's just laughing.
It's like Miller time. Trees. Oh.
Well, the sound of the bullets hitting it.
I know, it's like hitting metal. Like weird, like wyverns.
Right into the ship.
Oh.
That sounded awful.
Schmack.
It's like his nuts got crunched.
I think just his whole body got crunched.
Yeah, but most of his nuts.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That sound.
Something happened.
Ooh, nice shot. See, this is the stuff I came to see, though. Like, I wanted to see, when I heard that it was taking place in the way off future and it was going to be all space age, I was like, okay, it's different, but then we get to see, like, space age technology doing battle with kaiju, which is cool. Like, you know, if you're gonna do it, go all the way with it.
How could this happen? Don't they find out it's been way more than 10,000 years?
I don't remember.
It's been I think they find out, yeah. Yeah, see?
So our time keeps increasing.
Yeah, because again, it's the way, like, time, the way they went through a wormhole, like, it's... And I know that's actually based off something real, like the physics. But yeah, for us, it would only be, like, X amount of years, but in reality...
Yeah.
Like, way longer would have gone by, so... Yeah, so that's the thing. You go back to Earth, but it's basically an alien world.
It's like that moment in Interstellar.
Yeah.
Have you seen Interstellar?
I've seen parts of it.
No. There's a moment where they land on a planet, and it's near the planet's near the gravity is the gravity is being influenced by a black hole. And there's like an area of time dilation going on there because of it. And they go into the planet to check it out, and they're down there for like a couple hours. And then they come back up to the ship, and the guy was waiting in the ship outside the time dilation.
Yeah.
And like almost 30 years had gone by for him.
Jeez. There was an episode of Doctor Who like that where there was like a ship that was like miles long, where the one in the front of the ship was like present day, and then they kept getting reports from people at the other end of the ship, and you find out the people at the end of the ship were their descendants. So it was like generations from one end of the ship to the other. Yeah, so I like how they're playing around with that. Yeah. So for them, it's not like, hey, let's just go back to Earth like it was. It's like, no, you're essentially going to an alien planet at this point. So you're not really retaking the planet. You're essentially colonizing a new one, basically, at this point. Because you're going to have to completely readapt how you live there. See stuff like this. Again, I get where he's coming from. He's not wrong, but you can't blame this other guy either, because he's even said,
like, nobody's wrong. Like,
I just want to smack him. Like, dude, get a grip. Maybe I'm an asshole, but...
Again, it's like, you're so hellbent on getting revenge for Godzilla, but Godzilla didn't, like, break into your house and, like, shoot your wife in the head.
Because he thinks of it, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's an honorable and brave thing to do, to risk everyone that's lives just to maybe kill Godzilla.
That's a big ass maybe too.
Yeah, and then then maybe survive because the planet is not exactly friendly.
Well, and that's the thing too. At the very least, if the planet was the way it was,
it's like, so what's the best decision to
again
to increase the likelihood of human survival? I'm thinking, why don't they like try to terraform like Mars? Yeah.
Well, I know they've talked about. I don't know if they mentioned it already, but they talk about building a base on the moon so they can be close to Earth, but like be safe in the mean. And I'm like, that's a great idea. That's what they should have started with. Like, go to the moon.
Sexy moon base.
Yeah. Build a sexy moon base.
Right.
And that way you can monitor the Earth.
Terraform Mars, and then just move everybody in. Like you don't ever have to go back to Earth. I mean, you can like a million years from now, people can like vacation there and pay it like super rich.
Well, I mean, just rebuild your technology somewhere else, and then again, it's better. I get it. It's a dome city would still be better than like a spaceship, and like rebuild your technology, and then from there, again, you can terraform other worlds. Like that's really
or float through space. That's cool.
I mean, again, or just build more ships. So at least if you have to travel through space, you have a fleet essentially. So you're not just confined to one ship. And maybe just become like a nomadic species. I mean, I get, in a perfect scenario, you go back to Earth and take it back. But that's the thing. Even if you up and just killed Godzilla, the entire planet is like antagonistic to you now. Like, it's not even your world
you literally
anymore.
Don't even have the resources to protect yourself from regular threats.
I mean, if they came across a planet like that during their travels through space, would they want to stay on that planet? That's the thing. I think it's for him, it's more an issue of pride, where it's like... The Earth could be a flaming ball of death, and he would still just be like, we gotta take it back. It's like, but for what? And honestly, if it's not a unanimous decision, it's not your decision to make, basically. It's like, you may want that, and fine, then you can pitch a tent there and die. But I mean, I get it. That's the plot of the movie. That's what they want to do. But I'm just saying, like, he's meant to be looked like he's the hero, and the other guys are the cowards. And I'm like,
yeah, no.
I'm kind of with the other guy. They're like, yeah, it's stupid to do this. We should leave.
Yeah, I don't want to die to live on this.
Yeah, and again, they were just assuming that it was Earth was more or less going to still be Earth. I mean, yeah, the cities would have kind of fallen to ruin, but it would have still looked like Earth.
And I mean, this was the plan from the get-go, is to see, like, can we live here? And if we could live here, then we talk about taking out Godzilla.
Yeah, the fact that the planet is the way it is, I would have just bugged out.
But this was just reconnaissance. Like, their mission right here, right now, was just reconnaissance. They were planning on coming down, seeing what's what, and going back up.
Yeah.
And the guys just, you're leaving?
Like,
you're not going to take this. You're not going to take these 20 people and kill Godzilla.
Yeah.
You know, the monster that essentially transformed the entire planet and that made it bend to his will. You know, like, and let's not forget he killed all the other kaiju that came before.
Billions of humans on Earth.
Yeah.
We couldn't kill Godzilla, so no.
And all the monsters that were destroying us, he took out.
And we had alien,
and then aliens showed up to help us and failed too. It's like, but yep, you and the posse are gonna, you know.
And he was only 50 meters tall then. I assume he's the same height now.
I'm just like, yeah, it basically is the equivalent of like an army couldn't beat him, so now you're just gonna hop in the pickup truck with the fellas, you know, grab a shotgun and a 6-pack of Coors and go out there and get him. It's like, dude, like, you lost, you know, sucks, but either put on a cape and cowl or shut up.
Shut up.
I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to shit on this movie. There's a lot of stuff I like. It's just, honestly, my biggest... the only real main problem I have with this movie is the main character.
Yeah. Which, it's difficult to not complain about when it's
the main character. And to me, everybody around him is saying more rational things.
Like, aesthetically, the premise, and then Godzilla himself, all awesome.
Yeah.
Like, A+, but then
this guy.
Yeah,
he chills out a lot in the second film, to be fair.
Yeah,
like, he's a lot... Because I didn't realize how different it was, because I haven't watched the first one in a while. Because we watched the second one recently when it came out on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And then I'm watching this one now, and I'm like, God, he's a lot different in this movie. He's a lot more like, in this movie. And in the second one, he's more stoic, but he's a bit more subdued. He's brooding, but he's more like... Right.
He's chilled out a little.
Yeah. Whereas this movie, he's like, dude, like dial it back,
been pinned
bro.
up on a ship for 20 years. But still.
And that could be it, too. There might be a little cabin fever. And by the time we see him in the second film, he's kind of, you know, he's got some fresh air. He stretches his legs a little bit. He's a little like, all right.
Had some reality slapped into his face.
Yeah. Especially at the end of this movie. He's going to get some reality slapped in his face. Like, hey.
Rat in his stupid face. Your face is stupid.
Oh.
Something big over there. Yeah, everyone, there's something over there. That way.
Over there.
Yeah, right over there yonder.
I like it's one of the old roars they used, but they added like an effect over it.
I love those little mechs. They're kind of adorable.
I dig the mechs, man. Like they're a cool design.
But I think they're cute.
Really?
Yeah. It was like...
Old man Goji, get off my arm.
Well, technically this would be young man Goji.
Yeah. Old young man.
Sure.
Finally.
I'm a Punisher. Yeah. There's a name for this Godzilla too. This young Godzilla. I'm trying to remember what it was called. But they gave it like a different name.
Young man Goji.
Young man Goji.
Youngzilla.
Oh, where is it? It had a weird name.
Long Schlongzilla.
What?
Oh God. Godzilla Philius.
Philius?
Yeah. Because the big one is
Phyllis. That's what we call him, Phyllis.
Is Godzilla Earth.
Phyllis! No, things aren't going well for our pals.
Maybe you should have just not,
Did it say explosion risk? Or
That's pretty bad when you need to have something that says explosion risk. It's like, hey,
warning, you're at risk for explosion.
This motherfucker right here. I'm gonna take my dirt bug at him. I'll get him.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. I didn't like. See, I'm like, all right, dude.
What the fuck are you gonna
Armies, nations, empires, other giant monsters all fail.
I mean, he just wants to die.
I mean, I guess he's.
And you got your sky
They
dirt
say
bike.
he's gonna do that, but I'm like, I think he was just being impulsive.
Okay, so again,
But
when I was
apparently he's
still
got
under the
a-
impression that this was the Godzilla and
Oh,
not
yeah,
like the faux Godzilla, I was looking at him there and I'm like, the Godzilla looks really small there if he's supposed to be that big.
He just wants to die.
That was like the majority of us watching this movie from this point on.
It's like, he's not big enough. Again, it's just stuff like this. I'm like, at this point, it's you're not being cool. You're just like, you're being dumb. Like
Even if you're trying to do it just for the sake of getting information, it's dumb.
Well, you're just recklessly.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just running out into a field and hitting a rhino with a stick.
Yeah, see, he just wants to kill himself. Unfortunately, he does not succeed.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just parkouring in the air with a.
He wants to slam into Godzilla.
But I'm like, what are you
That's a
doing?
smart
This
idea.
is not going to do anything. It's so ineffective that you don't even get the props of being like, wow, how brave he is. It's like,
Oh,
no.
and then the professor dies here because of this, right?
I don't remember.
I think someone dies here because of this.
I think he does.
Because of his dumbass.
Yeah.
I look at Godzilla's like, what?
Got something to say?
Yeah, pretty much. He's got the right idea.
Yeah, he died.
Bye.
That was right. He died.
I don't know, and that's my point.
And
Yeah.
like, why are you surprised?
Like,
why are you surprised?
I'm like, you basically just went up to a bear and just start smacking with a stick. Like, and for it, it's literally just like, bah, go away. You know what I mean? It doesn't care.
It basically just breathed in your direction.
Yeah, essentially. Like, you were just a nuisance to it.
And like, that's the thing. Like, he's like, okay, I'm done. Stop bothering me.
But yeah, that's my point. All that amounts to just like, you just irritated a large animal that just swatted you away.
Peace.
And would it have done that if you hadn't instigated it?
Yeah.
Like, you were zipping around on your little bike and you're just essentially just a fly buzzing around his head. I'm just like, dude, just like, again, I know it sounds like I'm shit on the movie, but just that main character, I'm just like, he's so selfish to the point where
It's distracting.
and he's putting all these other people at risk unnecessarily. Like you said, this is a recon mission. Fly over, check shit
Literally
out.
doing
Like,
the
it's like
opposite of what you
even worse. It's like when that guy dies, he's like, "Oh god damn you, Godzilla!"
I know, it's like,
And it's like, no, it was you. That's
Yeah.
on you.
So
you did that. Like,
yeah, like,
and he was basically firing on Godzilla to kind of protect you because and even his attacks in a fucking mech
yeah,
tank
you
thing.
don't put yourself in that situation. He doesn't put himself in that situation, and then maybe you guys leave and survive. Like,
Yeah.
direct priest.
Again, like locking him up and or something to feel bad. No, that was the right thing. The guy is a problem. The guy is problematic. Like, I get the situation in space wasn't great. I got that vibe, but it's like, okay, if you guys want to kill yourselves, then literally just
Space.
do what that other guy did and blow your brains out. Like, there you go.
The final frontier.
These are the voyages of.
Godzilla.
I'd watch that show.
King Ghidorah. That'd be cool.
Godzilla just doing the lean in the chair like Kirk style.
Yeah.
Yes, put the guy in charge that fucking just got.
That's what I'm
His face
saying.
killed.
Like, it's just like, no. If I was this guy, I would literally be just like, shoot him now. He's reckless. He's impulsive,
we
and
know,
he's
buddy.
selfish.
We know, buddy.
Because the problem in his mind, it's better to die fighting Godzilla than to keep living. And I'm like, no, I don't think it is actually. I think there's a lot of options you're not exercising right now. Like, hell, Just put a
those
fucking...
who don't yield to him.
Just put a moon base and just chill there for a little bit and just figure shit out. Again, they need to rebuild their technology. Because if they have tech, then they can,
Right.
Trying to have your Independence Day moment, buddy, but it's not happening.
Because it's just too serious.
This is not go quietly
into the night. We will not banish without a fight. To this day, it's like the most. I hear that song and that speech. I'm just like, fuck yeah. I need to play that every day before work.
I know. Right?
Just to get pumped in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is I would get too motivated. I would just crash my car into the front door of the store.
Jesus.
And just start jump out there, throwing punches, and then clock in.
He was the greatest president of all time.
He was the greatest president of all time.
I wish he was a real president.
I'd follow that guy into battle on a suicide mission to fight Godzilla. Right? You kidding me? Hell yeah. He could even tell me you are going to die, but if he does it in that voice, I'm like...
But if you fly your plane into the ship, you might save everyone.
Yeah. So they need to fly a plane. See, that's the thing. If he would have crashed his little skybike into Godzilla, problem solved.
It said, I'm back. That would have been great. So, like, we're led to believe this entire movie that he's the main character out of that moment. And then they do that. Like, so early on, so the reveal of the real Godzilla just happens right then and there. Because he flies into that little one.
Yeah.
Literally goes, like, straight down the throat and, like, self-destructs, blows up, it dies. And then the real Godzilla stands up here. And then... the girl's the main character.
Oh, God, he just made the movie better. God damn you. You were saying?
This guy, Galactu, I don't know how to say his name.
Galactu.
He was the guy from the flashback we saw. Because I was like, why did they say his name? But yeah, he was the one that was making Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, well, that's their species. They're more...
Well, I know that it was their...
War-esque.
Yeah, I know it was them, but I didn't know it was, like, him specifically. I couldn't remember, honestly.
I think he was, like, the main engineer on the project.
Yeah.
That was kind of his, I think the other aliens brought them, like, more, like...
We find out that they sabotaged it on purpose, right? Mechagodzilla?
No, they were trying to do something... Well, it was something in Mechagodzilla's prime directive that made him do something weird that leads to the events of the second film. But yeah, no, their whole thing was like they basically were like, okay, the other aliens are going to give you like space travel and all that kind of stuff. We're going to give you the weapons to fight Godzilla. So that's kind of was like the two sides. The other one, aliens were more like enlightenment, Essentially, they were the plan B. If we can't beat him, we'll get you guys off Earth. Yeah. And the other guy's like, okay, but we're first going to try to beat him. You see, in this stuff here, if we're in the future, I want to see spaceships fighting Godzilla.
Yeah. I'm like, why would you not want to be...
enclosed?
You're still going to die probably, but it's a little less... risky.
Yeah, like, it'd have to be like space-age jets. That would have been a little cooler.
Said, I want one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, bye guy.
But, again, I'm just like, really? We don't have like little space jets things that we can have? Well, nope, just little skybikes. Okay. Yeah, look how muscular. Look at him. Look at him.
He's ripped.
Like, no body fat whatsoever.
Yeah.
What's his diet?
I know.
But he's freaking huge as well.
Steroids, that's his diet?
Yes.
Every morning he's just eating a bowl full of like steroid flakes.
The only thing you can say for these little bike things is they'd probably be faster
steroid
for evading,
with
but...
steroid milk.
Yeah, I know.
And a steroid bowl with a steroid spoon.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah, this maneuverability, but again, this Godzilla doesn't strike me as incredibly fast where they needs to be. I think they need to... Unless it's one of those things where they just didn't have a lot of stuff left, but I don't know. When I heard when this was taking place, the press was like, oh, sweet, like, TIE fighters and X-Wings fighting Godzilla, basically. I was like, dope. And then I'm like,
I guess they just, forgot about these guys, too, so.
But that's my point. Just, right now, all right, everyone fall back, head back to the ship.
Yeah.
This planet sucks. Let's go. It's like... Like, seriously, it's not even him you have to worry about anymore. Like, literally everything on this planet is lethal. Like, just fuck this. Because, okay, let's say you kill Godzilla. What are you going to do with these guys?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're fast, they're quick, they're agile. Like, for better or for worse, when Godzilla's coming, you know he's coming. You can see him coming a mile away. These guys, like, what do you do? Like, I'm just like, get off the fucking planet. Like... I like that way that was cut. No.
It seems like you're having some issues.
And why is he there on the ground? Like, this is your idea, dude. You're the one who wanted to do all this. Get your ass up there. Come on, Ahab. Chop, chop.
He's commanding the troops. I can't believe anybody's taking orders from him.
I know. That's what gets me. It's like
he's on bail.
I know, right? I would have been like,
wake up, sheeple. You know what I'm saying?
I would have, honestly, if I was a person there, I don't care if you guys would have, they would have, like, imprisoned me or what, I would have shot him.
I'd be sitting on a rock eating, like, canned beans or something. Like, no, I'm not doing it.
Nope.
And then he would shoot me. Be like, thanks.
But then again, if he dies, does he become a martyr?
No. Because an idiot that just made a bunch of people die.
Again, I get it. They've been adrift for so long, and they're just dead. But I'm just like, guys, this is a fucking suicide run. Like, seriously, just.
No, I mean, I don't think it necessarily doesn't make sense to like try to take this planet back.
But not the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
He's just not being smart about it.
They're just being reckless.
Well, especially now too that they see there's more than just Godzilla here. If he was literally it, I'm like, okay, we can take him out and then try to figure shit out. But the fact that like there's,
I love the atomic breath.
It's one of the things that because it's not as big and like explosive, it's more like a little direct. It's like a fly swatter. It's just like. Every time you see it go off, you just see a little like.
But it just seems super powerful.
Oh yeah, well, it's actually a giant
sound.
force field that he's just concentrating.
Sound is so cool.
Again, you say that, but I'm like, why is this the point of no return? Like, again, I still think if you guys would have just made that base on the moon, gathered all your resources, gathered all your forces, got a bunch of intel, and like you guys could have devised a plan. You guys are literally just jumping on your little dirt bike and just shooting at them. I'm like, people have done this before though. Like that, you know, that this is like that's how you guys try to fight him before. I know their goal, I think, is to try to take out like his force field because then he might be vulnerable. But I'm just like, okay, but I don't know. I guess he wouldn't have a movie then, but
yeah. They drop those Hollow Earth bombs.
They're sciencing. Bunch of skull crawlers crawl up. Well, shit.
Disperse.
Yeah, he literally looks like a big sumo wrestler just squatting down, getting ready.
It's me. Ah. Did he get out? Yeah.
Oh.
Look like a twisted ankle.
It's just going to be Godzilla on the ground for like 5 minutes pulling Peter Griffin. Ah. Ah.
You suck. Look at spit up. You're dead. If only they had like 3D maneuver gear.
Right.
I mean, they already got your angsty male protagonist. You're halfway there, folks.
It's so frustrating Attack on Titan though, because like he's so awful, and the other characters are all like really good.
Yeah.
I know, that's the thing. A lot of these animes now, they have the supporting cast is like
Better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they feel like the main guy needs to be like this, just like, dude, like, oh god, take a Xanax, man, like.
Jeez.
Take a chill pill, bruh.
God, like his face is just so creepy.
It's awesome.
I know it's awesome, but it's weird. It's just off-putting, but in like an awesome way.
Yes.
Like,
Well, again, all these Godzillas we've been having lately, they're all very visually distinctive,
Yeah.
especially in the face. Like they all like have a lot of different personality in the face. That was cool. Shot like that.
I like that shot a lot.
See stuff like using 3D. That's where it really comes into like play,
Yeah.
where you can do kind of cool maneuvers like that. Back in the day with like 2D animation, they would have to have done like rotoscoping kind of animation.
I'm like, here's the thing. They wouldn't have tried this before, you know?
Well, again, they're trying to basically get him to lower his shield so they can like deal enough damage to him. I also do like how, like, God, he feels so heavy when he moves.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the scene in Godzilla Raids Again where they bury him in the ice instead.
Yeah.
Ow! You're hurting me. Ow!
Rude.
Oh, that's fine. Shield generated. Now they know where it is.
Again, it is clever how they're trying to use his, I guess, power against him.
Next shield collapse in 20 seconds. Will the restraints hold?
By restraints, you mean like the rocks?
I know.
You mean the hill you collapse on?
I like how, like, guttural his growl sounds.
He's all like, Dad!
Ow.
Boom. Destroy it.
I mean, I guess, yeah, they didn't know that's how he generated in the past, but I'm like, would no one have, like, fired enough artillery at him to, like, at some point, like, make this happen?
Well, if it's not at the right time.
I guess, yeah, they would have to gotten the timing right.
Because the shield's only down for like a few seconds. And then it's like...
Yeah, see, stuff like this, that's what I was looking at. Like, the scale is all off. I was like, that is not that big there.
Right.
Little did I know. I do gotta say, that was a really well-kept secret, because I was seeing various shots from, like, the trailers, and some of the shots they were showing were the big one at the end, and then most of the shots were of this guy here, but sometimes I would look at it, I'm like, it looks like there's inconsistency in the 3D model. Because sometimes his face looks really detailed and angular and really just like jagged, and other times it looks really more smoothed off. And it was because you were seeing the two different ones, but we didn't know that. So I was like, well, in addition to his size not seeming accurate, the 3D model doesn't seem consistent. And then, of course, it turned out to be like, well, it's because you're literally looking at two different Godzillas.
Time for your shots.
Which, aside from, like, Kiryu and, like, Godzilla, Tokyo SOS and all those movies, this is the first time we've ever really had, like, two Godzillas in a movie. And even then, that was Godzilla having been turned into Mecha Godzilla. Whereas here, it's like, no, there's, like, legitimately... Well, not really, because as soon as one dies, the other shows up. So you never really get to see two Godzillas in the same shot. But it's kind of weird to think that in this continuity, there technically were two Godzillas.
Yeah. Slow pie, the bitch. That's what he said when he came out of the mountain.
That slow look,
I
like,
know.
you son of a bitch.
Kind of sad.
Alert.
He just looks sad.
Oh.
He's just like, why are you doing this to me? I'm picturing with Eeyore's voice now.
If you wish to clap, now is the time. That was... I mean, yeah.
There he just goes,
Pretty good timing.
All of a sudden you hear the...
man, if only they could have done that like 10,000 years ago.
I know. Why
So when Godzilla shot the guy in the tank, was that like Goose
Yeah.
dying?
Oh
Is that
my
supposed to be like that moment for us? this little moment of elation. Because when I saw this, I was like, wait, what?
I did too. I was like, that seemed a little easy.
Yeah.
And how are there going to be 2 more movies?
Easy,
and then I was like, ha, get fucked.
Right?
Because at first I was like, oh, he's probably just going to rise back up again. Like, oh, they think he's dead, and he's going to be like, no, I'm not.
I did too.
So I was like, they're making 2 more movies. I was like, well, he's not going to be dead. He's just... Or they're going to, like... It's going to end with them thinking he's dead, and then, like, the next movie, they're going to be like, oh, my God, his power is rising. He must be waking up again, kind of thing.
Look at this. You could build a city in there. Right.
No, you really haven't. Like,
it'd be great if he was like, he's like, yes, you can begin the construction of my statue right over there.
I know, right? It would fit real well. It's
He just becomes a dictator of humanity.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Yeah, and then I saw this. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
What? As soon as he said that, I was like, oh. And all of them like bitching and moaning about the size thing. Right away, I was like, oh shit, they're not gonna, are they? Even though I get this for like story to kind of tell us, but I'm like, how would you come to this conclusion?
I know.
Like, this thing literally looks, acts, sounds, and did everything the other Godzilla did. There's really no reason to think that this wouldn't be the same Godzilla, but I'm like, you know.
Yeah, I think it almost would have been better if he didn't say this now, and then he showed up, and then in the next film
kind of theorize it. Because there's no
like,
reason, honestly, you should come up with a theory like that. It makes no sense. It's like if someone breaks into your house...
We need to foreshadow this.
You know, and like steals all your shit, and then like, there we go. So I'm pretty sure we've been seeing the real Godzilla in the shot this whole time. By the way. And I'm kind of curious, why did it wake up now? I'm wondering, could it sense the other Godzilla like die?
No, I think it's just waking up. Just happened
to be fair, they did make a pretty big ruckus.
I guess do all that shit because... you know.
Like, Phyllis? Yeah, I think isn't that him?
Yeah, that's him. So this whole time Godzilla's been in the shot.
He has all those trees on him. So he's probably been asleep for like...
When he came up, the trees were still on him and shit, and the vines. Oh,
yeah, that would have been cool.
Like, just literal, like, mounds of land on him.
Yeah, he's like, causing an eruption.
Yeah, like, that was the crazy part. It's like...
what if, like, an ice age began because of this? Because he stood up?
That would be amazing.
Oh
like,
God.
so all the dust goes in the air.
Yeah, they should have done that.
That would be, like, just to show how powerful it's just him waking up.
You need to start making your own movie.
Creates a global... I know, like...
Damn.
Like, look at this, look at this.
That's a much better idea.
Like, yeah, he creates basically like a nuclear winter.
So what happened? Well, Godzilla stood up, and now there's an ice age.
It's like... Just from standing up.
No, he doesn't even stand up. He rolls over. He doesn't wake up. He rolls over and throws humanity into an ice age.
That'd be awesome.
He's the best, and he kills like more humans than he ever has. Like actually, like
just from like rolling on his side.
Yeah.
Talk about waking up on the wrong side of the bed.
Oh. Yeah, look at this. This is insane.
Mass about, what did you say, 100,000 tons? Is that what he said?
Something like, yeah. Like, look at that. It's like, can you imagine seeing this in a live action movie? A Godzilla this big. But it's almost like you have to do it in a movie like this because if he showed up in a city, like, it fucking swings a tail, the city's gone. Like,
yeah, I would like for them to do that.
I was gonna say, I always say this shit out loud, and then I'm like, why don't I do this?
What do you mean? Like, why wouldn't they do it?
That would literally be a movie where, like, entire...
He's got, like, the under spikes on his chin.
Yeah, he's got, like, the chin goatee thing. Yeah, with see shots like that, I'm like, he looks different in some of these shots.
It was, like, one of my ideas that I told you, it was like, yeah, I want, like, Godzilla to show up and literally take a step, and everything is destroyed. Like, the entire city is just destroyed. He just the impact of his step.
Yeah.
And it's not a section of the city, not like a radius of like a few blocks. It's like it's the entire thing.
And he obviously knew the whole time too. This guy's just an asshole.
20,000 years.
See, I love the detail in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love that little chin thing. That's something I would like to see kept going in future designs. Like,
and then that roar, that's like the exact roar.
Yeah.
Where I think
I feel like that roar should have.
I think the other one was slightly different.
Yeah, it had like a tinnier effect to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I figured that was just what they were doing, just to make it sound different, you know, because it's a new Godzilla. But I was like, no, they dusted off one of the classics. Yeah, now everyone's getting out dodged. Arguably, what everyone should have done the second they came to this planet, but
oh god,
everyone's like, goodbye. Moon base, right, guys? Look at that. Those are fucking mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
His eyes are like super cool looking.
Fucking wake my ass up.
I know. Look how jacked he is, though. Like, god damn. Oh.
Boom,
and that wasn't even the blast. That was just breath. That was literally him just breathing hot air. Look at that. He sneezed on that.
Is that a super...
And 1,000 gigawatts.
If I act stupidly again, everyone will hopefully live. That's what I do.
Yeah, look how just broad his shoulders are. Look at him. He's just like, boom. Oh, he's so jacked. I love it. This part is my favorite.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's the best part.
Holy shit. Now imagine that this Godzilla showing up in like the modern time in a city.
Yeah.
And doing that move. There's Tokyo right there, gone. Just gone.
Well, and that's kind of one of the things I know you were saying too, why we initially when we watched it before we knew he was coming up, we're like, maybe we just can't tell how big he is because we don't have buildings to compare him to. But yeah, and then obviously this happened.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm like, I wish we had buildings to compare him to. They'd be so tiny.
Well, again, I know Shin is up to his knee.
Yeah.
Like, he's that massive. Like, as much as we complained throughout the movie, and I know it's, I mean, I do like this movie, but for me, this ending really saved the movie for me because it set up a sequel that I knew I was going to like a lot more.
Yeah.
And again,
I haven't seen the sequel yet, but
it's a lot better. It's
yeah.
really good. Again, this movie's not bad. I just
it's
don't
all set
like
up,
Haru in it.
Mm-hmm. He's a lot better in the second
one.
one.
So much better.
And this whole movie's just build up, though.
Yeah. Use
Is
your
it-
words.
Now, there is a post-credit sequence. So we'll,
Hang around.
yeah, I mean, the credits aren't too long. It's not going to be a Skull Island kind of situation, but
yeah.
we're like, great, 5 hours later, oh, thank God, here's post-credit sequence. But yeah, so, again, not a bad movie by any... I mean, again, these are all just our opinions, too, people. If you guys thought this movie was great, then that's
Then
fine.
you're dumber than we are. You're right up there with Anne Hathaway.
What is with you and Anne Hathaway?
It just bugs you. That's all
She seems like a lovely person, and she's a fine actress.
I'm sure she is.
So malicious. Yeah, I'm sure she is. But no, I mean, again, it's a cool movie. But again, I'm getting the sense that had this been initially a series, a lot of what happened in this movie would have been like episode 1, 2, maybe 3.
Right.
But they basically had to make the first few episodes an entire movie, which unfortunately means you're getting a movie that's mostly set up. Like, I feel like the Godzilla, I know it's Phyllis, but I want to say Phyllis so bad. Mm-hmm. I feel like they should have maybe had Phyllis show up. Honestly, those Wyvern thing, as cool as they are, I think you almost could have just scrapped them, had Phyllis showed up right away, and have her die, or it die, like, towards the middle of the movie, and then have the real Godzilla kind of show up halfway through, so we have a bit more time with the Godzilla. Basically have him just spend like the second half of the movie whooping our asses before we go limping back off into space, and then the second movie kind of plays out the way it is, because the end is essentially what we really came for, and it's so fleeting that it's kind of like, Because I was kind of like, is that it? Is that really how they're going to do it? And then he showed up, and I was like, yes! It's so satisfying, but it's so quick. It's like it's over and done. You're like, God damn it. No, now it felt like the movie was really starting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I do hope we do see Godzilla doing more animation stuff. Again,
Yeah.
I would like to see like a 2D Godzilla, though, or like more traditional animation. Because I'm more of a fan of that, but... I do like that Toho is also, in addition to, just doing more with the character, they're branching out into different mediums with the character also. Because a lot of people have been asking for a Godzilla anime for years.
Right. I don't know. I just feel like they should. It's surprising that they haven't.
Again, this is meant to be a trilogy, so for whether you like it or not, once these 3 movies are over, this is the end of this Godzilla continuity, as far as I know anyway, unless they do something different. But I'm wondering eventually again if Toho will, because I know Toho is planning their own cinematic universe and starting in 2021, and depending on how well the MonsterVerse does financially, that could keep going too. But I would still like to say, hey, a cool Godzilla animated series would be, I think, really neat. It's something I'd be really into seeing. Just more avenues of bringing the character to different kinds of audiences, because there might be some people who just don't really like Godzilla movies or giant monster movies, but they're big anime fans. So if there's a cool Godzilla anime coming out, they might be tempted to watch just as an anime, and that's how they're introduced to the character. So it's just more avenues of people finding Godzilla, which is always a good thing. Okay, I think it's coming up soon. It's quick, but it does set up something pretty significant from the second film. Any minute.
Oh, here it comes.
Here it comes, right now.
It's coming.
Right now, any second.
It's coming.
Oh, damn.
It's gonna.
If it doesn't, I'm gonna be so mad.
It'll be here.
Any second.
Yeah. At some point.
At some point.
Before the movie's over.
It's coming.
Oh, here we go.
Here it comes.
Yep.
Here it comes.
See, he's already way more chilled out.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay. I literally almost because I totally forgot about this during the movie, and I almost made a comment like, "Man, that'd be cool if they did something with humans that survived."
Yep. And he's got his mask off here too, so. Oh.
Oh.
Howdy. And that was it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Goodbye.